Hi everyone, this is Striker and welcome to episode number 12 of my Redout Advanced Strategy Guide series. In this video, I thought I would do something a little bit different, and instead of showcasing a current or former world record lap, I would like to instead bring you back a few years into the archives to show some of the earliest footage that I have recorded from this game. I believe these videos will serve as a great illustration for some of the most common mistakes that beginners make in Redout. And by fixing these mistakes, you should see an immediate improvement in your lap times. Let's take a look at some of my first runs through Trench and Simoon. Welcome back, and I think it would be fun to tell you that my original intention of filming these tracks years ago was as a demonstration for the Redout community of how to properly strafe and steer. A few more years of experience have since taught me that I was completely wrong. So let this now be a lesson of how not to approach turns. If we take a look at the start of this track, if we were time trialing in Trench, remember that we'll be approaching this turn at a much faster speed. But the same rule applies of not bleeding your boost while you turn. So if you watch my boost meter, how it builds up, and then in order to make a sharper turn, I drain all of my boost there. And my initial concern was, I don't want to hit this lateral wall, and I want to stay relatively close to the middle. So I had felt that if I can apply a little bit of pressure to the left with the boost, I can navigate that turn more cleanly. This is one of those scenarios in which a wall bounce is beneficial, because we can quickly redirect the momentum of the ship here and come out at a very straight angle, instead of bleeding so much speed and boost gauge as I come around that first turn. Now from here, the next set of racing lines is exactly the same as I would employ in a time trial. But the way in which I am turning is very much a sliding pattern. Do you notice that? So I'm actually bleeding a lot of speed in this section here by virtue of oversteering and not relying on the strafing to change my ship orientation. So I'll play that one more time in entirety so you can see what I'm talking about. After this first bleed, we talked about that already with the boost gauge, but watch how I'm just kind of slamming back and forth. Yeah, we want to tighten that up a little bit. Otherwise, though, the lines are correct. So just keep that in mind. Now, once again, as we approach this section, look how I'm at almost no boost. So in a proper lap, I would be utilizing this time to gain boost and gain speed, but right now I'm completely drained. So when I approach a long straightaway or a jump, I have nothing left to give the boost. See over here on the meter? Ideally, I would have held my boost throughout that entire section and let it build up to maximum, and then drain the entire boost gauge coming across this area here, which would have probably brought me up to about 1,200 kilometers per hour. 1,200 kilometers per hour over the course of 5 to 10 seconds of the straightaway makes a humongous difference in your lap time. Once we drain, we reestablish the idea of letting the boost recharge. So right when we get to about here, I want to be nearly maxed again. But what I'm trying to do in this lap is maintain the small amount of velocity that I've kept up, and I'm continually draining a mostly empty boost gauge. And that's not getting me a lot of success. So before I had started to race online in Redout, I thought this was a great strategy. And that was my big wake-up call. So I realized there must be a better approach. And that's why I feel it's so important for some of you who are novice to intermediate players to watch our other videos from some of the better players in the community so you can really see what high-level execution looks like. Now, once we come through here, some of these angles can be tightened up a little bit, but that's just me not being very proficient in the game yet. I wouldn't look too much at that. What I want you to really focus on is that boost gauge. We're still down because I'm micro boosting constantly to try to maintain 900 to 1,000 kilometers per hour, when I should be more concerned with letting myself slow down, quote unquote, in order to hit my next straightaway, which would be right here coming up, and then draining. So this should have been a full boost gauge expended as I come over this hill. And in time trials, that is a spot where you would hit a turbo boost. So any of these long straightaways, so in the pipe, coming over this hill, everything like that, we want to make sure we're maximizing the space that we can go fast. Now, let's just look at some of the final tips here. Watch, I probably do, yep, see, I drained my energy gauge. And now, by the time I come along to this straightaway, I have nothing left to give. So the only thing that's going to speed me up in this long straight section is the small amount of speed that I got from that boost pad and a small amount of micro boosting as I cross the finish line. Now, if we switch over to Simoon, so ordinarily Simoon is much more of a magnetic stabilizer track, but of course in a pure race you don't have that option. The considerations of using the walls to redirect while maintaining speed is of utmost importance in a curvy track like this where you can't use MS. So right here as I'm coming across this right turn, once again I'm already using boost. That is the worst time I could use boost because number one, not only am I draining my gauge, but I am actively raising my speed in a section that I need to be going slow in order to take the turn tightly. See that right there? So once again, look at these flaws. I think it's making a lot of sense now while I'm continually draining. So right here, we have, for this track, quite a long straightaway, and I have almost no boost. Now I'm draining as I get through this turn. Now another mid-size straightaway, and my boost is gone. So now as I come around this long left-hander, where I should be really recharging, there's nothing there. So look at my speed. We're at 680 and no boost. In a race or a time trial where you're able to use turbo boosts, it's really important that we max out that gauge so you can hit the turbo right in a spot like this and utilize that speed to carry you all the way into the next checkpoint. The idea of micro boosting, once again, see how my boost gauge is gone? This is a great straightaway too because not only is there a speed pad and no turning, there's a long jump. So in the air, our velocity actually accelerates as we slope into a downward angle. So once again, let me just play these laps back in their entirety. So there you go. I hope that this video gives you a very good illustration of the idea that we want to utilize our boost to gain speed at the right parts of each track. Once I figured this out and started to integrate it into my strategies, I saw an enormous difference in my success, both in time trials and in racing online. With a track like Simoon, where the magnetic stabilizer reduces the necessity of angles when it comes to steering, that makes it a little bit easier for us to focus on the idea of speed preservation. In a track like Trench, with so many oblique angles, we really want to focus on the strafe keys as our method of changing angles. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope this helps you to improve your Redout strategies, and look forward to bringing you even more videos coming up in the future. Thank you.